So I've got some more done on the RV. I'm a little scratched up. My boy cat attacks me sometimes. He's got issues. He's feral, so he's a little bit like unpredictable. So that's why I have like scratches all over me. He gets me in the face sometimes. So I basically ripped out a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't done any major like ripping of the ceiling or anything. I might get to that today, but this is just the intro. So I've started ripping things out inside. I took about a couple garbage bags of stuff out. So I ripped out all the wallpaper. It turns out there's more wallpaper than I thought. So the RV has been sort of superficially made over before, but what I'm planning to do to it will be a little bit more extreme. I'm not going to do any major building if I can help it, but we'll see what happens when I start ripping out the cab over the cab, which is quite damaged. And I'm looking at it, and I threw away the two cushions that were in there. They were totally destroyed, water damage. And I'm starting to look at the walls around the little cab over area and realizing that they have been sort of patched up. So there's going to be quite a bit of damage when I start, ripping down all that. It's like they've covered up previous damage by putting on like a thin plastic film that looks like wall paneling. And as it turns out, like when you rip out all the wallpaper, it's all brown inside, which I'll show you. But I'm actually like thinking that the wallpapering probably was a good thing because it'll mean that the surface has already been scuffed. And so it maybe cut down on some of the sanding that I have to do. So I will take you outside and show you. Okay, so this is the cab where I took out the cushions, and this pushes back, so this just does this. So it's got some serious mold that has to be dealt with. I'll use bleach on that, and there you can see the cling film that I was talking about that covers up some of the previous water damage. So I'm planning to rip out probably, like, definitely all that film, but probably the wall behind it as well, all along here. This is all going to be, it shouldn't be hard. I mean, if you can cut a dress pattern, why can't you cut a piece of plywood into a certain shape? It should be easy enough. This, I'd like to start maybe ripping out this today, and maybe ripping out this ceiling here and seeing what I can do with that. Here I ripped out all the wallpaper that was here that made it white. So that's all gone right down the wall. I put the table down so that I could get at everything and sit on the table. These cushions are in good condition. They're not wet or anything. So they just need to be recovered. And I'm thinking, I ripped that corner. I ripped that corner there. I did that. It was not ripped when I started. But I'm thinking what I might do is just leave this cover on. I don't really see much point in trying to tear it off, but we'll see. I also took out all of the backsplash vinyl wallpaper. So that's all gone now. I have these really cool vintage plastic sunshine yellow 1970s tiles, and I thought plastic tiles would be perfect because they're light, so they won't need a lot of grip to stay, and they're plastic, so like moisture shouldn't damage them. I just have to figure out how to stick them on. That part might be a little bit more tricky because you can't use grout, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use. Also, in the bathroom here, I started ripping down this wallpaper, but it's stuck a lot more solidly than the wallpaper elsewhere. So I'm probably gonna have to get at that in a more classic way. Like traditionally, when you take down wallpaper, what you do is you score it all up and then you steam it and you kind of get it saturated and it peels off. But I can't see doing that in this instance because the wallboard behind probably can't take a lot of that kind of moisture. So I'm undecided on how exactly I'm going to approach this project, but it's going to be a bit of a project. I might just get it as good as it gets and then wallpaper over it rather than trying to tear it completely out. This is all going to be painted in here, and I'm going to probably, I have this gorgeous wallpaper that I'm using in my kitchen. I'm probably going to use it on this back wall. And if I turn right around and back up, you can see the fridge door, and that's going to be wallpapered as well, and it should be pretty easy to do but it has a texture, so that could be an issue, but we'll see what happens. It's kind of like a rubbery stuff, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. I did take out a little bit of wallpaper in here as well, but very little. It's stuck pretty good, so that's another place where I'm gonna have to get into you know, really scoring it up and getting it wet. This is all painted. I'm gonna leave the gray carpet just because it's too much trouble to take it out. That's an addition. I'm realizing now that's something that's been added, but I think I'm just gonna keep it, and there's a little piece of it down here, and it's probably easier to just leave that alone. It's in good condition. This wall is a little moldy, so it's gonna have to be bleached, and I've got like a wasp nest there that has to come out. Now you can see where it's been repaired. Oh, it looks like there might be a little bit of a leak in that corner. So maybe this one. So that's gonna have to be addressed. And what I'm gonna do to address that is I'm gonna climb up on the roof and retar all the seams that go around the edge of the roof. And that should take care of any leaking that's going on here. And you can see it's been rewired, and this is where that ugly stained valance was. And I'll show you, I kept all the hardware. Okay, so I kept all the hardware from the curtains. So there's these elastic cords, which I love. They're, you know, they were really common in the 70s. You don't see them so much anymore, but those will be for the valance and also for the longest curtain that goes over this window. And then the little little metal ones came from those two side windows, and I'm going to keep those as well. And I'll keep the Venetian blinds if they're in good condition. If not, I'll just throw them away. They're easy to get. This one looks like it's in good condition that goes along the top here, so maybe I'll try to even leave that, but I might have to take it out. One of the things I discovered when I was pulling down stuff is that there's this really cute little bar on hinges. It's like 1970s chic, right? Like, I totally want to keep that. It had a valance glued onto it with like some kind of glue, so that's all going to have to be removed in order to salvage that. And then it's like a little spice rack, and I think it's super cute. I like that. So that's something I'm going to salvage. As for the cages, like what I'm going to do with the cages is I think I'm going to just tear out this sliding piece completely and just get rid of it and have this you can see like there's a little bay you can walk into. I'm going to keep it like this and put the cages around the outside of it, all around the outside, so that it's easy to reach into the cages right to the back, because if I step forward here, I can almost reach that back wall. So that'll be really convenient when you're trying to like grab an animal and drag it out or get to the back of the cage. I think that'll be a really good design to go with. Also, the bleach. Bleach is generally the common thing you use to deal with mold. I don't think this mold is going to be dangerous, but I'll probably wear a mask as soon as I touch it, just to make sure I don't breathe in any mold spores, because that's not good for you. And I don't think I'll use fungicides or anything stronger than bleach. You don't generally need to. This is probably not toxic mold. It's not like I'm going to get it tested or anything to find out. I'm just going to wear gloves and a mask and bleach the crap out of it. And see what the wallboard is like underneath. And it's just that, you know, the same kind of wallboard that's used throughout the vehicle. And it's pressed paper with a paper finish that looks like wood. And I believe that's all it's made of. It could be plywood underneath, but I'm not sure about that. So it may have to be cut out, but I'm hoping I can salvage it, because cutting into this area is going to be a bit of a headache that I just don't want to get into. I probably, you know, if I can cut dress patterns right, so I should be able to cut pieces of plywood, thin pieces of plywood, to just put in around the walls, because that's, you know, pretty basic. But getting into rebuilding this I don't want to get into that if I can help it. So I'm not planning to rip this physically out just because it's moldy. I'm just going to treat the mold and try and salvage that piece of wood. Other than that, there's no serious mold. There is that little bit that I showed you on the back wall of that back bedroom, but it's negligible, and bleaching it and painting it with Kilzall will take care of that for quite a significant time. It does come back over time, but it takes years. So I'm sure it'll be ready to be painted again by the time I have to look at that anyway. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I think what I'll do is I'll go inside and I'll get the plastic tiles from my studio and show you pictures of those in the house, because they're really cute and I think you'll find them entertaining. I think they're pretty cool, but I like vintage stuff, so that's me. And yeah, so that's the start that I've made, and I'm probably going to work on it some more today. Okay, so these are the little plastic tiles I was telling you about, and my cat Ronan, the scratchy cat. They are like vintage. I don't know if they say year that they were made. Sunshine yellow, made in Canada from Sears, plastic wall tile. I wonder if I can pull one out here one-handed and just see. That's the color. Aren't they beautiful? And they're just, I can't get one out. They're plain, shiny, beveled edge plastic wall tiles. And that's what I'm planning to use in the, goodness gracious, my cat just has to be on me all the time. Oh, now the dog's taking her place. His place, I should say. Now, this is my little girl, Peaches, who wants to sit on Mommy's foot. Sitting cross-legged, and she's sitting on me. So, yeah. So, yeah, these are them, and they're just super cool. And I'm gonna, any comments or suggestions of how to glue these, like, onto the wall, like whether to just use glue or some kind of like fixative, if anybody's ever put these up or heard of them before, I'd love any suggestions you could make. That would be fantastic. I'm pretty excited about them. I love the packaging and everything. I'm going to save the boxes and make art out of them, because I love packaging, and I have a plan to make some art dolls. I make art dolls, and I have a plan to make art dolls with these old, you know, thrown away packaging. Anyway, so yeah, that's those. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. I will keep you posted on the progress that I make, and make another video probably next week. I'm finding that making maybe one video or two videos a week is, you know, because I work as a care aide and I live 30 minutes out of town, so any day I have to take a trip to town, means that day is pretty much shot. So I want to be able to do these when there's decent light outside, and so that you can see clearly what I'm doing in the camper. So I'm probably going to stick to probably Thursday, updating Thursday through Sunday, and then I work 3 days a week as a care aide from Monday through Wednesday. So yeah, if you're interested in following along, I'll probably be posting at the end of each week, someday at the end of each week. Yeah, and I'll tell you a little bit about the kitchen project on this one. That I have to get a certain kind of I have to get some wallpaper paste because my wallpaper has no glue on it, and I've never done wallpaper with no glue, so that's going to be a learning curve. And also I have to prime everything, and I need something that sticks to melamine because I'm pretty sure those cabinets are melamine. So I know a certain primer that I like. It's called Grip. It's great stuff. I get it from Benjamin Moore, and I've even painted Arborite with that, so it works really well, and that's probably what I'll use throughout the inside to paint that wallboard and the different plasticky surfaces and things like that. Okay, so that's it for today. If you're interested, like and subscribe, and then you can get a little bell, I guess, when I update. That tells you I've added something new. So there you go.